Credit Karma was just fined $3 million by the FTC for telling consumers that they were pre-approved for credit cards that they actually weren't. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you why you shouldn't rely on Credit Karma, what's the difference between being pre-approved versus being pre-qualified for a credit card, and how can you improve your chances of getting approved for the credit cards that you actually want. And as a bonus, if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll also give you the top 5 credit cards that you can apply for today using this very same information. Let's begin. With this news coming out of Credit Karma being fined $3 million by the FTC, it brings something to light that I and maybe even you as a consumer have known for quite some time now. They be lying. These credit cards that Credit Karma would tell us that we were pre-approved for were actually credit card companies that Credit Karma had an affiliate partnership with, meaning that they would get paid every single time you, me, or anybody would click on these links to apply for said cards. Now, Credit Karma did actually come out and admit to this being the case, but they qualified it by saying that the only time that they got paid through these links was when people would apply through the links and actually get approved. But either way, this is still pretty dishonest and unethical. You're essentially funneling hundreds of thousands of consumers that are using your website for credit monitoring purposes into applying for credit cards that they probably have no business applying for, and in turn, not only are majority of them getting denied, but they're also getting a hard inquiry on their credit report that's dropping their score anywhere between 5 to 7 points. If you've been following me for some time, you know what my personal sentiments are as it pertains to Credit Karma. Yes, I understand that they're free, but there are a lot of other alternatives out there that are way better when it comes to providing you all of your credit monitoring needs. Some of the ones that I would recommend for you all to use if you're looking for an alternative to Credit Karma are Identity IQ, My Score IQ, My Free Score Now, and Smart Credit. Those are the 4. Of those 4, personally, I am currently using Identity IQ, and I've been using them for about 2 years now, and I have no complaints really when it comes to the servicing that they've been providing for me. So if you're interested in learning more about them, I'll leave a link to their website in the description below. But this situation with Credit Karma does have a silver lining to it, because it now raises the age-old question that I, along with yourself, have probably asked for centuries, millenniums, decades, time beyond, right? As it pertains to credit cards, which is, what is the difference between being pre-qualified versus being pre-approved for a credit card? So the difference between a pre-qualification versus a pre-approval is about ultimately who is the one that initiates the process. So when it comes to a pre-qualification, this usually happens when you're on a credit card company's website and they invite you to put in some of your information to see if you qualify for one of their credit products. They'll usually give you a form where you'll be asked to put in your name, your address, and your social security, but they're gonna give you a disclaimer at the end of the form that lets you know, even though you're giving them this information, they're only gonna do a soft inquiry on your credit report, not a hard inquiry. Once that form is submitted, from there, they're gonna take the information that you gave them to see if you qualify for any of their credit products. And if you do, then they'll formally invite you to fill out another form where you're going to provide even more detailed information so that then they can do a hard pull to see if you'll get approved for that product. Whereas on the flip side, a pre-approval is when a bank reaches out to you because they see that you've qualified for one of their credit products through a pre-screening process they did, where they more than likely did a soft inquiry on your credit report. Pre-approval offers usually come from banks and or credit card companies that you already have a relationship with, and just like a pre-qualification offer, you still have to formally apply for said credit card that you are pre-approved for. However, one thing to keep in mind is that whether you're pre-qualified or pre-approved, neither of which give you an 100% guarantee of getting approved for the card, but your chances of getting approved are much higher if you were pre-approved versus if you were pre-qualified. But now, with this understanding in mind, how do we increase our chances of getting approved for the credit cards that we actually want? So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that your personal credit report is properly structured. Whenever you apply for a credit card and they do a hard pull on your report, that lender is looking at every single aspect of your report to determine if they're going to approve or deny you for said card, right? This means that you want to make sure that every aspect of your credit report is pristine. So you want to have 100% payment history. You don't want to have more than 2 to 3 hard inquiries showing on your credit report. You want to make sure your utilization for for your credit cards that you already have is 10% or below. You want to make sure that you have no negative and no derogatory marks, and you want to make sure that your overall age of credit history is anywhere from 2 to 4+ years old. If you hit each and every single one of those marks, your chances of getting approved for said credit card is going to be extremely heightened. The second recommendation that I would give is, before you apply for that credit card, look to build a relationship with that lender first. So for credit card companies like American Express, this might be a bit difficult to do because they're not a traditional bank with a branch that you could just walk in and start chatting it up with the banker, right? But for other companies like Chase, Capital One, Wells Fargo, Citibank, Bank of America, and so many others, these are banks with branches that are probably within your respective city that you can walk in, open a checking account with them so that you can start to form that relationship. When you first look to open a bank account with a bank that you're looking to get credit from, this will help you to look a lot better when it comes time to apply for credit, because when you open that account with them, you're showing them that you're not just looking to get a loan. You're looking to form a real long-standing relationship with them and have them be your primary banking provider. Another pro tip that I can give you all when it comes to applying for a credit card is to apply in branch. Now, when I first got into the credit space, I was told, and I still am even hearing about this rumor, that the best time to apply for a credit card is between the hours of 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. because that's when a computer will determine your approval or denial for a credit card versus an actual human, which will improve your chances of getting approved, right? Now, I've experimented with that and I've had good results and some not so good results. But the one thing that has consistently gotten me pretty good returns is applying for credit cards that I was interested in the branch if it was possible. Whenever I've applied for credit card products in branch, my rates for approval have been far better than what they would be if I was applying for those same credit cards online. And it hasn't just been for me, it's also been for contemporaries of mine as well. And it's been on the personal side and the business side. Not only have I gotten approved, but I've also seen that I've usually gotten much substantially larger limits when applying in branch versus online. So I'm not guaranteeing that this is what's gonna happen for you, but it definitely is something to think about the next time you're thinking about applying for a credit card. And the third and final tip I will give you all is that you want to learn how to properly fill out a credit card application. There is a certain way for you to fill out these credit card applications to improve your chances of getting approved for the credit cards that you want. And a lot of people aren't even talking about it, right? Like, for example, did you know that when you're filling out a credit card application, when you get to the section that asks for your employment, you always want to make sure that you put employed. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you work a W-2 job, doesn't matter. You always want to make sure that you put employed. This is because the banks feel more comfortable loaning money to a W-2 worker who has guaranteed income coming in on a week-to-week basis versus a business owner that may make more than a W-2 worker, but their income has no ceiling and it has no floor, so the banks know that they're taking on risk. So if you're watching this, doesn't matter if you work a job or if you have a job or if you have a business, make sure that when it comes to the employment section, you always put employed. And if you're a business owner, when it asks for your place of employment, put the name of your business. Simple. I'll leave a link to a video that gives you a lot more detail on how to properly fill out credit card applications in the description below. And as a man of my word, click here if you want to learn the top 5 credit cards that you can apply for using the information that you just learned in this video. This video is over. Thanks for watching. Peace.